Hello creative souls, I thought I'd do a quick video for you. I thought I would paint a wood dragon as it is the Chinese New Year and this year is the wood dragon. So I've been inspired to paint one. I got this picture, I printed it off from, I can't remember if it was Pixabay or Unsplash, but I'll try and find out who the photographer was and cite it at the bottom. But this is a wooden dragon and it's absolutely beautiful. And so I thought I would attempt to draw and paint this. So I have done the background already, which I didn't bother filming. And as you can see, the drawing of the wood dragon is there, and I've sort of painted around him or her, and I did it using Schminke Horadam Aquarell. It's a trio of super granulating paints, and I got this set at Christmas, and they're absolutely lovely colours. So there's forest blue, which I've used up here, and you can just see the amount of different colours that come out on the page. And then there's a forest grey, which is up here, and then I used the forest green down here and got some really good effects. I literally just wet all around the dragon and around the branch and dropped paint in and just left it to dry, and that's the effect I've got. So I'm really pleased with that. It looks like he's in the forest, so that's really good. I'm just going to swatch out the colours for the dragon, and I'm using Daniel Smith paint this afternoon, and I'm looking at the Goethite. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's brown ochre. And then I've picked out Mummy Bauxite or Bauxite. I've got a Lunar earth, a yellow ochre, and then a buff titanium. So I'm just going to swatch these out and see how they complement each other before I paint him. And then maybe, depending on how it dries, depending on how I feel about it, I may go over the top with either some markers or maybe some pencils. I'm not sure, because I'm a watercolour artist, and so it's really hard for me to use mixed media on a watercolour piece. So, but this year I'm meant to be loosening up, hence the sketchbook practices. So we'll see. But I'm going to do some swatching now, and I will speed the film up for that one. So here's my swatches for the main body of the wood dragon, and I'm just looking at around his head dress here. It looks quite feathery actually, it looks lovely, but I'm looking for sort of a colour to use on my painting, and I found this ultramarine turquoise. So I'm just going to test this one out. I'm not going to bother splodging any out onto a dish because it's just a waste of paint. But I'm just going to get a smaller brush. Oh, sorry, I hit the camera then. It's probably wobbling around a bit. Just going to get a smaller brush and dip straight into the tube and do a little swatch that way. So it might be quite concentrated, but watered down, it might just give me the tone that I need. So I'm going to water it right down on the painting. Yep, I think that's it. It's an absolutely beautiful colour. So I think that's going to be the colour. I might mix a little bit of Payne's Grey into it just to knock it back a little bit. But I think that's the one. Right, I'm going to go ahead now and put the first layer onto the dragon. So painting with watercolour is a slow process. You have to be patient. And all watercolour as well, I think, goes through an ugly stage where you think, oh my goodness, am I really going to be carrying on with this painting? So I've done the head, and as you can see, the plates down the chest. And I'm just going to leave this to dry now. And then I'll come back and I'll do the rest without fiddling, because it's easy to get so engrossed and start fiddling. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go and let it dry, and when it's dried I will do the next layer. I'm starting to run out of light now, so I've got my overhead light on, and I just want to finish this last little bit here so I've got the first layer down. And then I'll call it a day and pick this up again tomorrow. But I've just got a small section, so I'm just going to talk you through this. So what I tend to do is go wet on wet. That's making sure all the surrounding areas are dry as well, so because you don't want it to bleed into the wet area. So I'm just painting clean water on to the white paper. Very carefully, not to go over the edge onto the painted area. And I'm going to take a smaller brush and I will dip into my buff titanium to give me a base. And I'm just gonna, I almost don't even paint, it's just dibbling the brush along and just gradually filling in that area with quite sort of wet, milky consistency paint. And I'm going to go down here and just let the paint sort of spread, go where it wants to. So I'm just going to sort of take it into that area as well to blend it in. Then I'm going to go in with some of the I think I might have used Lunar Earth here, so I'm going to go in with some Lunar Earth. And again, just dab it in, so it sort of gives you that spotty sort of texture on the edge. And as you can see, I'm leaving a slight gap around the leg. And then I'm going to come in down here. I'm not going to be drawing in every individual scale. I'm just going to give the impression. There we go. So I will leave that to dry overnight and I will come back to that tomorrow. But I'm really pleased because the first layer's down. I've just noticed I've left off a little toenail there. So I'm going to go in with my even smaller brush, and I did the toenail with some gouache. So I'm going to wake that up and just pop that in like so. There we go. Finished for today, and I'll let it dry. So I'm coming towards the end of this painting now. I've gradually built up the layers and put some texture in, and I've just finished the face as well. I've just used my heat tool to try and dry it off a bit, because I think I'm probably going to go over some areas with my micron pen, my 005 and my 01. I don't want to outline everything, but I might just put in some details. I'm not going to put in every single scale like in the photograph, but I just want some bits to stand out, possibly around the feet and around the face. But I'll see how I get on. I will film it so you can see the process, and I'll come back to you at the end. So I've put in as much detail as I think I want to. I'm just going to put the highlight on the eye, so using a very small brush, and it just sort of puts some life into whatever you're painting. I might put a little catch light up there too. And there too. There we go. He's a very happy chappy. I'm just contemplating whether to put some splats on there as well for the background. But this is the stage where you don't want to over fiddle and adding too much detail. So I might just sleep on it and see how I get on. But I'm going to take the blue tape off now. So before I take the blue tape off, you do run the risk of lifting the paper. This is on Hahnemuhle paper, bamboo multimedia paper. So I think what I'll do is heat the tape as I pull it off. So I think I'm going to get on and do that now with my my heat gun. Oh, sorry, that was the camera there. So this is my heat gun. I'll speed you up for this bit, but it's quite a satisfying bit, and lots of artists say it's their favourite bit to the end of the painting. So I'm going to do that now. There we go, my finished piece, the Wood Dragon for 2024. Using watercolour, Daniel Smith watercolour, and finishing off with some detail with a Micron black ink pen. So those are the paints that I used. There's my palette. And there's my finished piece. One Wood Dragon. Thank you for watching.